It is July 17th, 5:54 a.m. I'm gonna make this a quick one. Got mixed feelings. On the one hand, I feel like I'm in a good place. I got the energy, I'm good to go. I just need to go to sleep. But, let's see. Probably the last time I'm going to mention a TikTok video, but it grew to 300,000 views. It looks like it's slowing down now, so it seems like it's probably where it's going to top off more or less. Posted another video today, and then I swapped out. It turned out to be a lot more work than I expected it to be. I swapped out my old logo for my new one absolutely everywhere across all of my websites and social media. There was more than I realized. And then I put it into the game as well, and then I was kind of like not super happy with what it looked like just by itself, the way that I had the old logo, just for swapping it out. So I started getting into messing around with that a lot. So I'll show you what I got here. I think it looks pretty cool now. Neat little animation there. So yeah, probably gonna stick with that, but I wanted to set up some sound effects as well, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Let's see what else happened. I got some emails from, actually, let me discuss the results of the TikTok stuff actually, because I looked at the current wish lists. I know I said I wasn't going to not get distracted from obsessing over numbers, but I felt this was one time as an excuse, just so I could see how things converted from the video. And it was about what I expected. It looks like it converted into 200 wish lists from TikTok. I have read before that TikTok does not tend to convert very well, which, as you can see, pretty crazy. 300,000 views, only 200 wish lists. But I also gained more than 1,200, I think now almost 1,300 new followers on TikTok. And there's a lot of people on there who, chances are they're interested in the game, but just too lazy to go wish list it. And there's also people who are PlayStation players who are on there following me as well. So I had someone from Sony reach out to me a while back about porting the game to PlayStation, so that's something I did want to look into. I'm hoping, I don't know how much work it is exactly, I was hoping I might be able to launch them both simultaneously, but whatever, we'll see. So we're now sitting at just over 8,400 wish lists, which is all right. It's a good place to be in, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, not as much as I think I could be doing. Nevertheless, it is where it is. And I am setting as a goal for myself to try to hit 10,000 by the end of the summer, the end of August. I think it's realistically doable. 1,600 more. In between what I saw is like the regular numbers of what I'm usually getting day by day without me even doing anything, combined with some extra efforts, plus all the hustling I'm doing right now, posting videos every single day. I think it's very realistically doable. In the long term, hoping for bare minimum 15,000 by the time we enter into Next Fest, maybe even more. I don't know, we'll see. Honestly, man, I just believe in this so much. I'm gonna make it happen, you know? I just know it, dude. I'm willing to go all, I mean, I'm already going all in, but I'm willing to take it to the next level, you know, with the marketing effort I'm putting in now. I'm going to be experimenting like crazy. I'm going to figure this out, dude. I'm going to nail this shit. I got this. Anyway, I also received, I mentioned a few videos ago that I had submitted the game to a whole bunch of different festivals and showcases and stuff like that. So I just got the first email back from one that we're in. Basically, it's called the Brutal Indies Showcase, and it says, with nearly 500 applications and more arriving daily, being selected is no small feat. Congratulations. Only a limited number of titles get in, and ours stood out. So there you go. I do have to produce an exclusive trailer for them in order to be included in the showcase. That will be due August 28th. That should be easy enough. I figured by August 28th, probably have like 3 new levels to show off, and I can spin together a new trailer very easily for that. Maybe even, quite possibly, cast someone in the role of Dahlia because she's a character that appears in one of the next levels soon after the demo, and I should be able to get that done. And yeah, it would be cool to have a little sneak peek at her in the trailer. Pretty much every single one of these festivals or showcases I applied to included, like if you can include an exclusive trailer, it increases the odds of them wanting to pick you. So I said that I would for every single one of them. So no harm in trying, right? We'll see. Only one so far. And there is another email I got from it looks like Latin American gaming studio. I need to submit a form for that to be featured in their upcoming games section. So I'm gonna sign up for that tomorrow. So sign up for that tomorrow, get some sound effects, whatever, clean up this opening credits screen, upload that to Steam, and lock in. Yeah. I have noticed how one big difference for me, actually the TikTok video I made today was about my like healthy recipe. I made a little video that was like healthy recipes for jacked indie game devs. The joke being that my meal is actually quite, I mean, for me, I don't mind it. I think it's fine, but it's very plain, possibly somewhat disgusting looking to the average person, just lentils and vegetables. But I noticed how one thing that affects my sleep is on those days where I order out or order junk food, I tend to not eat much during the day, if at all, and then order one big meal all at once. And when I do that, I notice I have a much harder time sleeping, or that my sleep quality isn't as good. I don't know if it has to do with like blood sugar being too high from consuming so much all at once, or digestive problems from eating so much at once, or whatever, but I did notice it has a big impact on me. And it also makes me more like sluggish in general is how I would describe it. I notice even now, although I'm about as tired as usual, I'm a little more clear-headed and more energetic just because I've been eating healthier again. So interesting how it works. I was gonna make this, I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video, I was gonna make this a short one so I can get to bed. Didn't really have a topic prepared for today. I had some brief thoughts about, after everything has been said and done with those TikTok videos, I had some brief thoughts about, but nothing really new. I was just thinking about, from now on, that I'm just going to completely ignore people. I mentioned I already went through this in a previous video talking about the complete pointlessness of ever having conversations with people who have a negative tone to the way that they're talking to you. So nothing really new there, but I just definitively decided that after, because that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about how, because I got super pissed off today, if I'm being honest. I got really pissed off because I got a couple other negative ones, and it just made me sit down and really think, like, why do I get so mad about this? And I think if I'm being completely honest, it really is just that I have a huge ego. There's no way around it. But that big ego is also responsible for why I'm so incredibly motivated and why I have this like borderline delusional belief in myself, which I think is necessary to be a successful person. Don't know if it's enough, but it is necessary. And I realized, it's being real vulnerable here, but if I'm being completely honest, I think what actually pisses me off, it's not that because sometimes if someone insults you, one reason you might get pissed off and you take it personally is because you're insecure about something. So, whereas if you're confident in yourself, like, you don't care, why would it bother you? Because you're like, you know this person is wrong. And so I was thinking hard, am I insecure about whatever it is these people are talking shit about with me? And I really don't feel that it is. I have this very strong, profound confidence in myself about these things, and I don't at all feel like it's an insecurity. I think what it is it actually stems from my ego, because I see some of these people as beneath me. I see them as beneath me, and I think the real source of my feelings is like wanting to put them in their place. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that's a better excuse. It's not. It's not a good thing. I think I need to, and so this is what I was thinking. I need to tame that ego part of myself, and to not let it get the better of me. Um, yeah, and to learn to ignore it, especially because like, I mean, I don't know, maybe in person it can be kind of different when you stand up for yourself, but on the internet, there's no winning, right? Like, you engage with anyone at all, you've automatically lost. I mean, it's the whole reason why anyone ever even says anything to you in the first place, right? Um, so anyway, yeah, so that was just one thing that I was getting into my own head about today. But ultimately, the end result is exactly the same, which is that I just need to ignore people from now on. So that's what I'm going to do. Nice and simple. I think my methods for this is to keep my ego in check, remember that other video I made before, and just my new general perspective on life, that I'm kind of a determinist now. So I try to think about things in terms of when people do something wrong or stupid or insulting towards you, that I wouldn't go so far as to say that they can't help it, but that it's kind of like things were meant to work out that way. And I have to use that knowledge to not allow myself to get mad about people just doing what people in their position will do. Let's put it that way. And always remembering that when people act that way, that itself always comes from a place of insecurity. Okay, so yeah, that I was going to talk about that. And then there was this one other thing. I was going to make a video about this. So, you know what? Why not? Okay, basically there's this article. It says, BioShock director Ken Levine says Judas is old school and has no monetization or live service. So this dude is making a new game, the guy who's like the director for BioShock. And, he's bragging about not having microtransaction in his game. So I was going to make a whole video, which I probably still will do this. Maybe I'll do this one tomorrow, about like a short video. I mean, a TikTok. Here, I'll discuss it. It's going to be about the stupid way in which this kind of stuff is used for bragging rights now, where it's considered press-worthy in modern gaming, right? As if it's like, like, look at what a good guy I am that I'm not putting these shitty things in my game. I don't blame him for doing that. I mean, you want to get whatever press you can get, and it's not his fault that it's gotten to the point that that's something considered press-worthy. But he goes on to say, so he talks about how, like, yeah, there's no online component, there's no live service, whatever, and he goes on to say that this is no diss on any developers who have done that, because look, games are expensive to make. And this was really the main thing that I wanted to make my video about, which is that I really hate when they use that explanation for why they put this stuff in games. This idea that it's because games are expensive to make, and it's total bullshit. The logic here, of course, is they're talking about like live service games where they're constantly updating it, so they need a constant source of revenue. And that makes sense. That's fair enough. But of course, there's nothing that requires it to be microtransaction specifically. They could make my main problem with microtransaction stuff in any kind of free-to-play games is that it messes with the design of the game. It is fundamentally impossible to have that model for your game and not have it affect how you design things, because no matter what you do, when you design mechanics and features for the game, you always have to be thinking about how are we going to make money off of this, and that inherently changes the design. Even if you do something like, let's say, Dota from Valve, where there's very limited interaction between gameplay and microtransaction stuff, it's pretty much like entirely cosmetic, those kinds of situations. Even there, I would argue that the mere presence of currencies and financial things and the gambling aspect of it and the trading aspect and all this extra stuff that comes with it, besides taking up also a lot of development time, that's another element of it and how it affects the way that you develop the game. On top of that, just having that in the game changes the aesthetic of it. It changes your immersion, your phenomenological, fundamental experience of playing the game and immersing yourself into this alternate reality is changed when you have a bunch of financial stuff in it, when you see dollar signs, when you see items, and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm not a fan of this stuff. And to me, the obvious alternative is a subscription model. You could even still do the free to play thing, like have a free version of the game where you only have access to a certain limited amount of stuff, and then have a subscription model. And for people who subscribe, it can be $5-10 a month, just like World of Warcraft was back in the day. You get access to everything else. Maybe you still have to unlock stuff by playing for it or whatever, but otherwise you get access to all the updates, all the new things. And this would, and the thing with this is this would allow them to certainly make enough money to keep the game going. World of Warcraft was a game that did this for a long time. And the kinds of things required to run games like that have only gotten cheaper over time. So when they talk about how they have to put these microtransactions in the game because the games are so expensive, no, they put the microtransactions because it's more profitable. Microtransactions are like the most profitable model that exists in the industry, and that's why they do it. They could easily make enough revenue to pay themselves well and make these games just off a simple subscription service, but they wouldn't make as much profit, and they make insane amounts of profit. And to be fair, they are businesses. I think at the end of the day, most games are still entertainment products. I hope to make something different from that, but most games are entertainment products. I don't blame them for wanting to make a profit. I mean, that's ultimately what business is about. But I feel like there's something unique in the game industry about how big companies publicize themselves as though they are doing things for the gamer, for the art of the medium. You know what I mean? Like they PR speak it all up to make it sound like they're doing something different from what they actually are. I think about something like a casino, where everyone knows what a casino is and everyone knows how it works. And the casinos don't pretend like there's some kind of artistic integrity to the art of gambling or something. Like, no, they're there to provide you with a fun time, and you with the understanding that unless you get really lucky, you're going to be losing most of your money. And with these kinds of games, I feel like it's the same kind of thing. The reality is this is not about what's best for gamers. It's not about what's necessary in order to make enough money to run these games or anything like that. It's so that they can make money, just like a casino. And I wish that it was more openly spoken about like that, rather than pretending like it has something to do with the game. Because if you really cared about just making the best game possible, and you wanted to use some kind of financial model where you can keep updating the game, still make lots of money off of it, and be able to design the game in such a way that would actually be in service to the medium itself, to the art form, you would for sure use a subscription model. This microtransaction stuff is total bullshit. I also have a lot of stuff to say about the way multiplayer games work now, but maybe that's for another time. All right, that's it for today. See you tomorrow. Oh wait, wait, one last thing I forgot to mention with the TikTok thing. I did mention this. Yeah, no, I think I did mention that I got like not just the wish list, but lots of new followers or whatever. So it's almost, my follower count on there is almost now equal to my YouTube channel. So pretty good. It's like almost 5,000 people now across all my channels. All right, anyway, I think I mentioned that already. Peace.